Return to practice. She's been able to get a little bit more in her full court running, with her all of her body weight. It's really building up from doing minimal to then building some endurance to do longer periods of time. She's been able to do a little bit more on the court in terms of how she moves, but not into practice yet.
What happens when a league that finally became popular suddenly loses the one player who made everyone care? That's what's happening to the WNBA right now. Caitlin Clark, the player who filled arenas, broke TV records, and made the league a hot topic, has been missing most of the season. And the effects are huge.
Practice yet. That is obviously a negative as far as how soon Caitlin Clark will be back, because she will be in practice before she returns to the court. I would guess at least a few practices before she returns to the floor.
Ticket prices are dropping fast. Fewer people are watching games. Sponsors are starting to worry. And the scariest part? No one, not her coach, her team, or the league, can say when she'll play again, or if she'll return this season at all. This isn't just another sports injury. This is a big problem for a league that put all its hopes on one star. And now, time is running out. The numbers tell the story. When Caitlin plays, WNBA games can pull in more than 1 million viewers. Without her, that number drops by more than half. Ticket sales crash, arenas look half empty, and the excitement around the league fades almost overnight. Inside the league office, people are scrambling.
Unfortunately, I'm starting to get this gut feeling that we might not even see Caitlin back on the court this season, and that might actually be.
Sponsors want answers. TV networks that paid for primetime games are watching the ratings sink. And the Indiana Fever, the team built around Caitlin, now has to play without the one person everyone came to see. Fans feel the change too. Last season, Caitlin's games were events. Families planned trips. Friends bought matching jerseys. Whole towns tuned in. Now, many are asking the same question. Why should I watch if she's not playing? And this drop in excitement? It's just the start of a much bigger problem. Caitlin Clark's season hasn't just been unlucky. It's been one injury after another. She's already missed 19 of 32 games with problems in her quad, her left groin, her right groin, and even a preseason hand issue. For a player who almost never missed games in college, this is completely new territory. At first, her coach, Stephanie White, called her situation day to day. But weeks later, nothing has changed, except the updates have gotten more vague. Now there's no timetable for her return. That usually means the team doesn't know when she'll be ready.
This year, WNBA players have gotten exactly what they wanted. Caitlin Clark has essentially missed the entire season, and the WNBA has suffered the consequences.
Or they don't want to say. Caitlin has been doing some running and light work, but she hasn't even practiced with the team. And she's made it clear she won't play again until she feels 100% ready. While fans wait for good news, the Fever are making moves that tell a different story. One that suggests they're bracing for a long time without her. When a team says no timetable for a player's return, it usually means one thing. They have no idea when it's going to happen. That's exactly what fans are hearing from Coach Stephanie White. She keeps saying they're taking it day by day, and that Caitlin is building up endurance. But without real practices, there's no clear sign she's close to playing.
Wondering, why did the Indiana Fever and Stephanie White decide not to come out and say, hey, she's not practicing. She's not going to be playing in this game.
It's the kind of language teams use when they're preparing fans for bad news without actually saying it. Rumors have even started to spread online. Some think the Fever might be hiding how serious the injury really is. Others wonder if she'll need surgery in the offseason. None of it is confirmed, but the silence from the team is making fans even more nervous. And while the updates stay vague, the Fever are already making moves that show just how worried they are. The Indiana Fever aren't acting like a team that expects their star back soon.
Maybe it's just me, but there seems to be a massive decline in mainstream interest in the WNBA this season.
Their latest move says it all. They signed 33-year-old veteran Odyssey Sims on a hardship contract. Hardship contracts only happen when a team is in real trouble. In this case, both of the Fever's backup guards, Sydney Colson and Ari McDonald, are out for the season. Without Caitlin, they were running out of options fast. Odyssey Sims is talented and experienced, but let's be honest, this signing isn't about adding depth for a playoff push. It's about survival. It's the kind of move you make when you're trying to stay afloat, not when you're waiting for your best player to return any day now. And while the Fever scramble to fill holes on the roster, fans are feeling the impact where it hurts most, their wallets. When Caitlin Clark isn't on the court, the drop-off is brutal. Ticket prices for some games have fallen by more than 70%. Last year, a Chicago Sky ticket for a Clark game could cost $86. Without her, it sank to $25. This season, the pattern is the same. For fans who bought tickets months in advance, it's frustrating. Many traveled hours or even booked flights just to see her play. Now, they arrive at the arena only to find out she's not in the lineup. It's not just fans feeling the sting. Bettors are upset too. Sportsbooks now hold off on setting lines for Fever games until the last minute, waiting to see if Clark will play. That uncertainty changes the betting market and leaves gamblers feeling burned. The excitement that once surrounded every Fever game is fading fast. And inside the locker room, the mood is changing too. Not long ago, some WNBA players seemed annoyed by all the attention Caitlin Clark was getting. She even ranked 9th among guards in All-Star voting, despite her huge impact on the league. Charles Barkley called it petty jealousy, and he might have been right. But now, that jealousy is giving way to something else, worry. Players are seeing the difference in crowd size and energy when Caitlin isn't playing. Fewer fans mean less ticket revenue, fewer TV viewers, and smaller sponsorship deals. And in a league where everyone's paycheck depends on growth, that matters. It's a strange twist. The player some didn't want to hype up is also the one keeping the spotlight and the money on the league. Without her, the atmosphere changes overnight. And that's a big problem because the league's biggest business plans for this year were built around her. The WNBA went all in on the Caitlin Clark effect. TV networks paid for primetime Fever games, expecting more than 1 million viewers each night. Without her, those numbers dropped to around 550,000. Still solid, but nowhere near what was promised. Teams also made big arena changes just to handle Clark-sized crowds. Games were moved from smaller 4,000-seat venues to huge 20,000-seat stadiums. But when she's not playing, those extra seats are often empty. And that's embarrassing on national TV. Behind the scenes, some advertisers are getting nervous. There's talk, unconfirmed, that certain contracts have opt-out clauses if ratings fall too far. That means if the numbers keep sliding, the league could lose serious money fast. And all of that pressure comes back to one problem. Nobody knows when Caitlin will play again, or if she'll come back the same. This is the question nobody wants to say out loud. What if Caitlin Clark doesn't come back the same player? Groin injuries are tricky. Once you hurt them, they can come back again and again if they're not fully healed. Add in the quad strain and the preseason hand problem, and it's clear her body has taken a beating this year. If she rushes back too soon, she risks turning these injuries into long-term problems. But if she waits until she's 100%, fans might not see her again until next season, or even 2026. For the WNBA, that's a nightmare. The league's biggest growth year could suddenly turn into a step backward. And the hard truth is, no other player right now can match Clark's impact on ticket sales, ratings, and national buzz. The whole league was built around one star, and now that star is stuck on the sidelines. The WNBA wanted a superstar to take the league to the next level, and Caitlin Clark delivered. She brought new fans, sold out arenas, broke TV records, and made the league a daily talking point. But by building almost everything around her, the league also took a huge risk. Now that she's injured and out indefinitely, that risk is becoming reality. Ticket prices are crashing, ratings are falling, sponsors are uneasy, and fans are losing interest. For the Indiana Fever, this is about surviving the season. For the WNBA, it's about proving they can keep the momentum going without the player who started it all. The clock is ticking. If Caitlin Clark returns strong, the league's golden era might continue. But if she doesn't, the WNBA could face a tough question. How do you keep people watching when the star that made them care is gone? Because right now, the WNBA isn't just missing a player. They're missing the very reason so many people showed up in the first place. Caitlin Clark's rise wasn't some overnight surprise. She didn't just walk into the WNBA and magically pull and sold out crowds. This started years ago, back when she was rewriting the record books in college basketball. She was putting up highlight plays night after night, hitting deep threes that made defenders look helpless, and doing it all under the brightest spotlight in NCAA history for the women's game. Millions of people tuned in to watch her play for Iowa. Her games outdrew plenty of men's games in ratings, and by the time she left college, she was a household name, not just to basketball fans, but to people who didn't even normally watch the sport. The WNBA saw this wave coming and decided to ride it. And when she was drafted to the Indiana Fever, the marketing machine went into overdrive. Suddenly, games that would have been buried on an obscure cable channel were in prime time. Teams moved games from 4,000-seat venues to 20,000-seat arenas. Her face was everywhere: billboards, commercials, merch tables, you name it. But here's the catch. In building the hype, the league focused almost everything on her. Other talented players got less media coverage. Their stories were barely told. And now, with Clark sidelined, there's a huge gap the league can't easily fill. It's like building a whole house on one pillar. When that pillar cracks, the whole structure starts to shake. For most rookies, the first season in the WNBA is about adjusting, learning the pace, getting used to the travel, figuring out your role. But Caitlin Clark didn't get that kind of grace period. From day one, she was the face of the league. That's a ton of pressure for anyone, and it's even heavier when you're dealing with injuries. Clark has openly talked about how much she feels she owes the fans. She knows people are flying in from across the country just to see her in person. She knows kids are wearing her jersey to their first ever basketball game. She knows the headlines, the ticket sales, and even the TV deals are tied to her presence on the court. And that kind of responsibility weighs on you. On Sue Bird's podcast, she admitted it's frustrating, spending the entire offseason working to get stronger, only to spend most of the actual season stuck in rehab. Imagine watching your team struggle, seeing your name on every promotional poster, and knowing you can't play. She's dealing with physical pain, yes, but also the mental grind of feeling like she's letting people down. And when you mix that kind of pressure with the reality of a serious injury, the decision of when to come back becomes even harder. Groin and quad injuries are sneaky. Unlike a broken bone, you can't just wait for an x-ray to show it's healed. Some days they feel fine, and then one wrong step can set you back weeks. That's why these injuries have such a high risk of coming back, and why they're so frustrating for both players and coaches. Sports doctors will tell you that the only real way to heal is with rest, careful rehab, and a slow return to full speed. But the WNBA season is short, just a few months, and games come fast. That makes it tempting to rush back, especially when the team is struggling and the league is under pressure to keep ratings up. The problem is, pushing too soon can make things worse. Once you re-injure a soft tissue area, recovery time can double or triple. For Caitlin, who's already had multiple issues in the same general area, quad, left groin, right groin, that risk is even higher. And without enough time to truly heal, every sprint, every jump, every cut on the court carries the fear of another setback. If you scroll through social media right now, you'll see a mix of emotions from Caitlin Clark's fans. Some are completely supportive, saying her health has to come first, no matter how long it takes. They point out that pushing her back too soon could hurt her career long-term, and they'd rather wait than see her risk another injury. But not everyone is patient. Some fans are frustrated, not at Caitlin herself, but at how the team and league are handling the situation. They feel like the updates are too vague, like information is being hidden. A lot of them bought tickets months in advance, expecting to see her play, only to find out hours before tip-off that she's out. For people who travel, book hotels, and spent serious money for the experience, that's a big letdown. And it's not just Indiana fans. Cities across the country had her games circled on their calendars. Businesses near arenas stocked up for bigger crowds. Now, those same cities are seeing empty seats and disappointed visitors. For a league trying to win over new fans, that's dangerous, because once trust breaks, it's hard to get those people back. The Caitlin Clark situation should be a wake-up call for the WNBA. No league should rely this much on one player. Yes, Clark is a once-in-a-generation talent, but building all the marketing, sponsorships, and TV deals around her alone was always risky. Now, that risk is on full display. The WNBA has plenty of other great players, some with years of star power and loyal fan bases, but they haven't been given the same spotlight. The league needs to start telling their stories, showing their highlights, and giving fans more reasons to watch games even when Clark isn't playing. That means better promotion for rivalries, more coverage of playoff races, and more creative ways to bring out the personalities of other stars. If they can spread the attention more evenly, the league will be stronger the next time a big-name player gets hurt. If they don't, they risk repeating this exact same crisis in the future.